All right, welcome everybody to a special episode of Pod Between Worlds, and I'm your host Steve, alongside host Ollie, and today we're going to talk about the Mandalorian. Mandalorian's coming out tomorrow,
Season 2, baby.
Tomorrow morning, season 2. So we're going to talk about some of the cliffhangers, and then we're going to dive into some of our predictions and intriguing ranking system that we're going to go about it. So coming in hot.
All right, Steven, we are on the eve of Mandalorian Season 2, which I'm still trying to think if I'm going to wake up early because I want to do a reaction. I'm trying to figure out.
I was going to ask, are you going to...
I haven't planned it yet. I think it'd be good for the YouTube. Oh, well, first of all, if I wasn't doing a YouTube video, I would not get up. So don't, this is not me needing to see it at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm just trying to plan. I would really like to get a reaction video up there for our YouTube and to get some hits and get us more popular. And that's a good way to do it. So I'm in between. I'm thinking about possibly, because the problem I have is Ridge too when he wakes up. You know what I mean? So I can either, I think it'd actually be better, even though I don't want to do it. I think it'd be better if I got up right at 3, did the video, watched it, did the quick, because the reaction video is not going to be crazy. I'm going to do it for 5-10 minutes. You know what I mean? I'm not going to go crazy with it. I'll do a review later. We'll do a review. But so I think I probably should just go to sleep, set an alarm for 3:30, get up, go watch it. It'll be 4:30, quickly record it, and just try to get it up on YouTube by 5 and then go back to sleep until hopefully, because if I get up at 5, he'll probably wake up. You know what I mean? So there's the in between there.
Wake up?
It's random. Anywhere from 5 to today he slept for a long time, so it was 7:30. It's weird. It can be any time, so it's not really consistent. But yeah, I'd like to get one out, so I may do it. I may wake up at 3. It's a little crazy. The only thing I hate about the 3 thing is I think I did that last year when we were on vacation, and it didn't come out at 3. It came out at 3:20. So I don't really want to stay up till 3 or wake up at 3 and then have it be one of those things where it glitches and doesn't actually come out till 4:30. That'd be terrible. You know what I mean? That's annoying.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, it just says 3 a.m. for us, so I have no clue.
Yeah, so I might set it to 3:30. Just give it whatever downtime it needs. You know what I mean? Whatever bullshit upload things it needs.
Yeah.
And then watch it 3:30 to 4:30, because I heard the first one's 52 minutes.
Yeah, I'm not gonna watch it until tomorrow night.
No, 100%. I wouldn't either. Yeah, I'm gonna watch it with Christy tomorrow night. That's gonna be my enjoyable time to watch. You know what I mean? The only reason I'm doing it is for the review. I would not watch it at 3 o'clock in the morning. Are you kidding me? I mean, I love Star Wars, but I don't need that.
If I was still working from home, I would consider it, because then I would be okay, I'm working from home. I could sleep in a little bit longer.
Right.
I don't have to wake up at the ass crack of dawn to go to work. So not as big of a deal. But yeah, since I'm going into work, it's just no shot. And once I wake up, I'm not going to fall back to sleep. So not a good idea, at least for me. But,
all right. So you want to jump in?
Yeah. So what, did you want to start with cliffhangers first, or you want to start? Okay.
Yeah, so let's just go the cliffhanger. I don't know if cliffhangers. Some of them are cliffhangers. Some of them are just what do you this whole show is kind of a prediction for us, but the board is going to be a character prediction thing. So let's start it off. I'll start with some simple non super important ones, but just to get your opinion on it. What do we think? Do we think Dr. Pershing's still alive and roaming around? The doctor that was trying to get that was actually doing the cloning. He seemed a little more concerned with Baby Yoda's life than the client or whatever. And we didn't see him get killed, but
I'd say yes, because I don't think they would.
You think we'll see him show up, or?
Okay, is this a prediction?
No. Okay. I'll let you know when we're doing that. No. Okay. This is just kind of do you think he has another role in the show, or was that it?
maybe not him specifically.
But his background or whoever he works for, like that kind of thing.
It could be a different, it could be whoever he works for. It could be a different doctor. I
Gotcha.
think that kind of character is kind of just like a throwaway character in my opinion. But I don't know. Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. That wasn't something I kind of picked up on. But what do you think?
I do think he shows back up. I think he is a link to what they're going to get into. But for just as interesting, obviously he was kind of working with the client, but it seemed like he was a little bit more concerned with getting the child alive. So that makes me think maybe he was working more specifically with Moff Gideon. So, the argument would be, well, if Gideon killed the client, wouldn't he just kill everyone involved with the failure? You know what I mean? Kind of thing. So, you could see it that way. I do. I don't think he'll play some like pivotal role, but I think he'll show back up. And I think he was a piece in the pivotal part of the story of where Baby Yoda, like what the real story is behind either who Baby Yoda is or who Baby Yaddle is, why they want him, how they found him, the whole, you know what I mean? That whole thing.
Yeah, because he had the Camino sigil or whatever on his
right.
Shoulder,
so there's definitely the cloning element to it there. That's my whole theory on how it gets back to Palpatine. But I'm still interested along those same lines of like if it'll be just kind of left untouched or like if it's as big as I think, but even if it's not, even if it's just Gideon and he found out about this Force sensitive, it's still weird to me. They never really say why the Niktos had him and who the crime lord, or if it was a crime lord or a crime organization. They don't name the organization that had him. It seems like that's been left and no one's really talking about, like, we're just focused on like who Baby Yoda is, right? And where the story is going forward. It's kind of like, how did he end up in some crime lord like thing protected by Niktos? It seemed very like almost they didn't know what they had, but obviously they did know what they had because they're protecting it, but they didn't. It was kind of like on a random planet, not like super well protected. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you might find out this season about that. I mean, it sounds like we're going to get more into just the story in general. Like,
yeah, I just think they're pointing forward and not backwards. Maybe backwards in terms of where, like, if he was cloned or if he actually is a natural born. But like, I feel like, how does he end up there? It just seems like an odd place. It seems like a good placeholder for a show to start. But Star Wars always explains that stuff, and it's like, how did he end up with some like gangsters, like bodyguards? It just seems like a weird. You know what I mean?
Not really. I mean, I don't think so.
Like, wouldn't Gideon just buy him? If he was with Underlords, like, wouldn't he just buy him? Why trust bounty hunters?
No, I think it's more from a story perspective. I think it's not. It's not meant to be something that's necessarily pivotal.
Gotcha. So they're just gonna sweep it.
No, not necessarily. They could just be. I could see that being something where it's like it's answered in like a book or a comic or something, where it's just like.
Yeah, certainly, I could see that. But you see what I'm saying, where it just is kind of odd. Like, if Baby Yoda is owned by like a crime lord, like let's relate it to like if Jabba has him, right? It seems odd for the Empire or a remnant of the Empire with power still to not just pay the crime lord for what he has. Just give me that, right? Instead of hiring a bounty hunter to possibly go get it and possibly screw it up. It seems like...
Yeah, but you're forgetting the setting too, because the Empire is kind of... At that point, they're kind of in the shadows at that point. Right?
They're not in the shadows, no. I mean, they're a remnant, like, but the crime lords still would rather deal with them than the New Republic. They're looking for money. They're scrambling. A lot of them, like Jabba died, so they're like in the aftermath books, and a lot of it kind of describes like the underworld, if you will. Bounty hunters are scrambling too. You know how Grief Karga is, like they're not sure if they're going to be accepted in the New Republic. So it's the same kind of deal.
Something like that, to me, it seems like it would be something where it'd just be like they'd probably just say, yeah, they just stole them or something, and just like,
yeah, no, I mean, like, I'm totally with you. It's a plot point. It's how we get the story rolling. It just like I kind of want a better explanation, because Gideon seems pretty self-sufficient and pretty powerful, that if this was a really big deal, I feel like he'd just go take it from those Niktos. Just like Mando did. I mean, Mando didn't bring an army.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? It was him and IG-11. Imagine if Gideon flew in with his TIE Outlanders and his whole crew that he brought to take out Karga, he would have taken it easy. So there's other stuff going on, is all I'm saying.
Maybe,
That's not the only thing Gideon's doing. He obviously has other responsibilities. You know what I mean? There's other things going on.
Yeah. I mean,
Or maybe he was just trying to stay out of it. Maybe he didn't want anybody knowing that the Empire went after this crime lord or whatever.
Well, that's my thing. I think they're like, when I mean working in the shadows, that's kind of what I'm referring to.
He's trying to stay hidden. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they're openly going to be like, oh yeah, we're chasing after a force-sensitive user that.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to make that apparent. So that's why, to me, I feel like that kind of plot line is just going to be like, they just stole them from wherever, and
Makes sense.
The client was like, all right, let's get him back, but I'm not going to go to the crime lord itself. I want you to go get them, and you'll probably kill them all and deal with them yourself.
Gotcha.
Kind of like clean up my mess.
Again, some of these are deeper cuts. Like, I'm just trying to go over stuff that, not everyone's talking about, just to give a different angle on stuff. The other one that's kind of, before we get to some interesting ones, I'm interested with specifically because Cara Dune's new armor is certainly like that tealish blue, which 100% is from Sorgan. Because if you go back and watch the Sorgan episode, everything's based around those like blue krill, and they have like the blue spachta drink. People are like, there's like this whole like all of their clothing is dyed blue, right? So the question just is simply, are we gonna see Sorgan again this season? I don't mean ever. That's too bland. Like, we gonna see Sorgan this season? You think it's gonna play another role, or are we done?
I think we're done. I think it served its purpose. I think the only thing might be mentioned by the armor is probably Cara Dune probably just went back to that planet at some point.
So it's just a tie-in. Her armor is just a tie-in. Yeah.
I feel like this season's gonna be more. They're gonna be good. They're gonna be on the bigger worlds, I think, is what's gonna start to happen, like Tatooine and stuff like that, or like ones we're more familiar with. That's just my prediction. I think they're gonna start going in that direction, because now that the Empire's raised its eyebrows,
right.
I don't see why they would go back to Sorgan unless they were again hiding. But I don't think that's the point of season 2. It sounds like it's a completely different plot. So it doesn't make sense to me that they would go back there. At least that's what I think.
All right.
What do you think? You think they do, or?
No, I just found it interesting. I was really fascinated by the armor choice because I noticed it. There were a couple things. Like, there was obviously the stuff that they were like the Klatooinian like raiders were harvesting from the krill. There was obviously, the krill is like the way of life there, right? You can tell all their clothing's kind of dyed blue. In the fight scene where Cara Dune is fighting the Zabrak, there's like a alien species in the background that's like very humanoid, but like almost like dyed blue. So I speculated in one of my species breakdowns that maybe that's a local Sorgan, and like this is their main source of food. So everything there has this like bluish tealish tint. So when I saw Cara Dune's armor, as much as actually the old armor also was tinted blue in some scenes, like this is like much clearer. It's like in the forefront. So I just thought it was cool. For people paying attention who are into it, it was definitely a reference to Sorgan. You know what I mean? So I'm just wondering in my head, does that mean that Sorgan's more important than I thought, or is that just a nice little tie-in that's where we saw Cara Dune from? It was a cool little planet.
Well,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, well, wasn't her armor representative, her original armor, representative of Alderaan? Because it was light blue. It was like just like.
Is it light blue? I thought it was just kind of like grayish. It was like mottled.
Was that? All right, now I'm gonna have to look.
It's just kind of like the accent pieces were like.
Because she is from Alderaan, so that's
right. It's more. So the original armor is much more like silver metallic-y looking.
Okay.
And now the accents that are silver metallic-y looking in the first season are much more pronounced, like tealish blue. It looks in these two pictures that I'm looking at, it almost looks like the exact same outfit, pants and everything, shoulder pads, like arm bracers, except all the parts that were like that steelish blue are now that bright teal, that much brighter teal. It gives her kind of like more of like just a standout kind of. But you're right. Maybe it's an Alderaan thing. I don't know specifically if Alderaan had popular like colors or whatever.
Like royal blue.
Is it?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
This is definitely more of the teal that Sorgan had a bunch of. But yeah, I mean, it looks like they just updated it. Maybe it's not even mentioned. Just something I noticed. I would say that another reason I bring it up is because in the Poe Dameron book that just came out recently, not super recently, maybe a couple months ago, the one where it explains his like relationship with Zori Bliss and kind of his upbringing. I think what was it called? Freefall?
Yeah, Freefall.
Okay. One of their bases when he's younger, when he goes with the Spice Runners to Kijimi, spoiler, sorry, if you're looking to read that book, one of the planets that they're based off of and go to is Sorgan, which I thought was interesting.
Interesting. Okay.
Now he was like 18 in the book, so that's doing quick math. That's like 10, 15 years after this. Yeah, so.
Yeah.
Again, it can all be just their good job tying stuff in. You know what I mean? I'm just saying the Cara Dune thing sticks out very much to me, so I wonder if that's just a hint or if it actually is like a clue. Like, okay, so if that's a hint that Sorgan's more important and then we're going to see it again, or if that's just a nice callback to, hey, we had that cool thing going with the krill. Let's take advantage of it and represent Cara from where we met her in the show. You know what I mean? Yeah. Which is probably just a nice narrative touch.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on. Now we'll get to some better ones, some more like mainstream interesting ones. The Armorer, still alive?
Yes.
And that whole mess with the Mandalorians. That's not part
of your prediction thing?
No, the predictions are new characters. I'm not doing characters that like are gonna show up again. The Armor's already in it, and her voice is in the trailer. I just mean more like, I mean, we could if you want to add the Armor. It would be another good one, but like I'm just interested. Do you think she survived? And then on top of that, like, do you think all the Mandalorians died in that fight, or all of them got off? Like the Enclave just kind of moved?
I think some of them got off.
Some of them did, yeah.
I just have a feel like
I want to learn so much more about this whole Mandalorian setup.
I feel like they would at least show if they were to be eliminated, especially the Armor. I feel like that character is too important to just be like, yeah, just she just died in random skirmish. Like, yeah, I feel like she was too important to the plot line itself that
he didn't have time for it, but I feel like Sorgan would have been a good place for the bounty for the Mandalorians to go. Like kind of out of the way, right? Like, you know what I mean? No one really ends up there. I don't know what they did for work. Were they all bounty hunters? Is that what we were supposed to kind of get the vibe of?
Yeah.
But then again, when he sees him, like they called Din the Mando. So like, if they saw other Mandalorians, wouldn't they like not call him the Mandalorian? I don't know.
Where's Sorgan in relation to like, what you call it? Why am I trying to blank? Navarro?
Like, how close is it? I don't know.
Yeah, like, well, what I'm thinking is the guild is obviously there for some reason, because there's probably at least some decent populations around. Probably, I'm wondering if Sorgan's kind of a backwater out of the way. That's kind of just like, why would you go there?
Well, both are back. I do know that both are semi-considered backwater, and that's the reason, because the New Republic's in charge now, but it's a mess. So like bounty hunters just don't know if they're going to be accepted or like hunted down by the New Republic. So any kind of crime or bounty hunter or any like fringe groups are all on the Outer Rim and in backwater places. They're not interested in like taking their chances with the New Republic. You know what I mean?
Oh no, I understand, but at the same time, like if they're a bounty guild, I mean that's the part.
Well, so they're
Maybe not
not.
the Mandalorian.
They're not
Well,
necessarily the bounty guild. That's what's interesting. That wasn't explained well. I was led to believe, and this is just my takeaway. At first, I thought, oh, like they're all there and they're all bounty hunters. That's how they make their living, right? Like that kind of makes sense. Except that people constantly say, I thought the Mandalorians were gone. Like, and they call him the Mandalorian, Mando. So if there were, and it's not like they all have the same armor. If if all of them were working for Greef Karga, he definitely wouldn't call Din the Mando, right?
yeah, that's true.
So that leads me to believe that like people on Navarro didn't even know there was this enclave.
Yeah,
which is weird. So like, wait, is Din just supporting the whole enclave, or like what the fuck's going on there?
Well, clearly not. If he's just getting doing jobs for his armor for Beskar, so.
Well, he did the one job for Beskar. He was pissed about the payments on the other ones. Remember?
Yeah, but like that's my point. I don't get that vibe. I feel like they would be doing something different.
Right. Well, no, I completely agree with you. But that's like, so what are they doing that no one knows they're there, but they're still able to survive? It seems odd, right?
Maybe we'll find out in season 2.
Yeah. All right. So final answer: armor still alive? Yes. I'm going. I would think yes. Yeah. Yeah. I agree with you.
Yeah. I feel like she's too badass.
I think she's going to show up again too. Specifically.
Well, it's her isn't that her voice in the trailer?
Yeah, but it's a line from season. It's the line she gives them in season 1.
Okay, so yeah, I think that character's too important.
I agree with you.
To just toss away and like, oh yeah, she died in a skirmish.
I do think we may not see her this season. That would be my hot take on that. I think she will come back and she will be important, but I wouldn't be shocked if there's too much going on this season away from it, that it's something that after whatever plot line plays out this season, maybe once Gideon's gone, or maybe Gideon turns into the series long bad guy, that then whatever the next conflict is, the Mandos become part of that, and she's part of bringing the Enclave back together. You know what I mean? Almost like season 3, she shows up again, and you're like, oh shit, like that's awesome. You know?
I'm the opposite.
Okay, you think right away?
Yeah, because I feel like the whole point of finding the home for the child, or finding his I guess, well, in the trailer he mentions like finding where he's from. So
his people, I think they say, but yeah.
But he mentions in the trailer, and correct me if I'm wrong, that he needs other Mandalorians to help him on his journey.
So I think he thinks, yes, I forget exactly what he says. I think he needs the help of other Mandalorians. I think he thinks that's the best place to start.
So I think that's where she comes in.
You think we'll see her right away? Okay.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think that's my prediction. I think she's going to be the one that's like, yeah, go to, wherever planet that you're going to go, like Tatooine or whatever, and you'll find, some answers or something.
Yeah, I see it. I see it along the same lines, except her advice in the end of season 1 being the initial push, him going out and finding other Mandalorians through whatever other contact he has, and then later on down the road, season 3, season 4, when they're because I think we're going to have some kind of rebuild of the Mandalorians in this show. I mean, the show's called Mandalorian, right? Right now we're focused on, Baby Yaddle.
Yep.
And Mando. And we're focused on that storyline. But I think when it's all said and done, if it's 4 seasons, 5 seasons, hopefully 30 seasons, the show's called The Mandalorian, right? And we know the Mandalorians got decimated by this unknown purge that we still don't exactly know what happened. So I think maybe that's the long-term arc of the show, is maybe rebuilding Mandalore. So I think she comes back later. But I think we're on the same path of like, I do agree he's going to find more Mandalorians. I just think she's already set him on that path. Okay, so last basic one I have, and then we can go over general season 2 predictions and then our character thing, which will go pretty quick. Fennec Shan, alive or not?
No, dead.
Dead. Okay. I think alive. Well, okay. Let me preface. Well, no, that doesn't really need to be prefaced. Yes, alive. I was going to say maybe Gideon captured her and killed her, but it would make no sense to keep her alive to kill her before season 2 happens. I'm saying alive. Another one that I'm not sure if she'll be in season 2, but I think the character is alive. Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't know.
No, it's not
I
a
don't
big
get
deal.
that
It's a
vibe.
50-50 shot. I don't like. Yeah. Okay.
I just didn't. The vibe I got from that episode was kind of just like,
That
she's
she
dead.
played her
She's
part.
dead. Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't really, especially with the actress and everything. Her reaction to it, it wasn't really like a. There just wasn't anything there like. Bill Burr, for instance, like that episode.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like I could see them coming back.
They're
I feel
definitely
like
coming
that
back
group.
at some point. Although I think Burr said he's not, but like their characters, I think, are coming back around eventually.
Yeah, Burr. I believe you.
But
say
he's also the person that doesn't give a fuck. He'd probably say that and come back
Yeah.
if they. I mean, look, they pay him a bunch of money to come back. Bill Burr's
yeah.
coming back. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So before we get into our fun little character breakdown, let's just go general. We already kind of touched on it. And if you want me to go first, I can go first. But what is your feel for what we're doing in season 2? General arc, main conflict, and maybe where we end. And if that's too specific, that's okay. Like, do whatever you want. What are your feelings?
I think it's going to be. I think the child is. So the overall plot is obviously finding the home for the child.
Do we find that out by the end of the home? Whatever the home is, doesn't necessarily mean Yoda species, but do we get that conflict solved by the end of the season? No. Okay.
No, I think so.
Are we any closer, or do we just go on a wild goose chase?
I think we're a little bit closer. I think what's going to happen to my gut is saying you're gonna obviously you have Moff Gideon going after baby Yaddle, but
yeah. I should have gone with baby Vandor.
I'm only saying it because
I know I trip up every time.
But I think that and maybe I shouldn't bring up Ahsoka or Boba Fett or anything like that, but at the same time,
no, I mean if that's what you think is going to happen, yeah.
I think the reason is because you're going to start to see more of the Force in a sense.
Okay.
You're going to start to see more of the light versus dark. I don't think we got that clear indication in season 1 yet. I mean, you kind of did at the end, but it wasn't like a strong, just like good and evil right off the bat. I think season 2 you're gonna see more of that, and I think that's where like Ahsoka comes in, because Ahsoka might be like you should guide, like maybe like as a guide you might see Sabine, same thing.
Okay.
More of a guide type to maybe put him on the path of like this is where you should go, etc. So I think that's where the conflict's gonna come in, because then it's gonna become like what should I do with the child? Should I just screw both of them and just bring them to his home or whatever, or is this going to become like a struggle? And that's what I think. That's kind of where the plot's going to go. That's just in my opinion.
Okay. That's it. That's your okay. Yeah, I didn't know if you were done. Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we're in general agreement that the main focus is going to be Zebebe Yaddle and where we are going with that. I'm trying, one of the big things this is like the canon thing that I'm trying to figure out. And obviously it's the wrench in it is I don't think Sabine and Ahsoka can work together if this takes place before the last scene in Rebels. I'm very interested in the last scene in Rebels because I think most of us take it, or I'll just say this because I don't want to involve anybody who has a different opinion. I took it originally as that was basically right after the Return of the Jedi, right after basically they took out the Empire, right? Because, and I don't mean right after, it's not like literally they blew up the Death Star and they came over, but I took it as very soon after. Like she stayed there and made sure Lothal was protected from the Empire, and then the Empire fell, and then Ahsoka came to pick her up to let's go find Ezra, right?
Mm-hmm.
The more I watched it after The Mandalorian came out, and not specifically because of The Mandalorian, but just because of like the lull in canon, you know what I mean? And I was reading the Aftermath books and stuff. Mm-hmm. The more I looked at what Lothal looked like at the beginning of the series, and then when they flashed to her in the future, and they show Lothal, and it's this like beaming white city, like gleaming. It looks like something from a Disney movie on the water. I'm like, I know Star Wars has all different technology, but it just that part of it made it seem like it was so much further in the future than I originally thought. And when I saw that, and then you kind of listen to what Sabine says, she really doesn't say like, once the Empire fell, Ahsoka came looking. She kind of goes like, the more I got to think about it, I think there's more that I was supposed to do. You know what I mean? Like, so it very much almost feels like, and I'm not saying she's 60 years old. I'm just saying that it feels like more time passed than 3 or 4 years.
That's
right.
That was my gut feeling. Not even with Mandalorian.
Just when you first saw it.
When I first saw it, I was like, this has to be like 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
Out, because it just doesn't, from a city,
right,
exactly what you said.
Lothal.
Like, there's nothing. She doesn't indicate anything that's like, oh yeah, the Empire just fell,
right?
And here's Lothal, and here's Ahsoka. It's like you look at the city, and it's like
it almost seems like it's like towards. It would be more realistic for it to be more towards the sequel trilogy. Other than Sabine doesn't look like she's 40. You know what I mean? That's the only thing that keeps it from being too far in the future. Yeah, the city gives the feeling that it's way later.
A little bit. But like they leave after the Empire leaves after Rebels for the most part. So like you have
we don't. Yeah, we don't really know that. They got beat back, but basically all we know is Thrawn left. All the other Star Destroyers were there. The Empire would not have just given up Lothal. Lothal wasn't free. Let's put it that way.
But A New Hope happened like right after that, though. That's why.
Still like 6 months to a year, I think.
It wasn't a year. I think it was like months. It was pretty damn close, I thought.
Maybe, but even so, A New Hope. When A New Hope happens, there's still 4 more years till Return of the Jedi, and the Empire is still very much in control of the galaxy at that point.
Yeah, but that's my point. That the city looks the way it does is because it's a few years after Return of the Jedi, because they've had all that time to rebuild.
Okay.
In a sense. So that's why that would support that theory of, it's probably just before they go, or after Mandalorian, or whenever it is.
So exactly what you're saying. That's my point. I'm interested in that. Originally, when I saw that Ahsoka may show up in Mandalorian season 2, I put together, that's cool, but where's Thrawn and Ezra? Because if they went looking for him, how is she showing up in the Mandalorian? But now I'm like, is this before they left? Which, if that's the case, that lends way more credence to us seeing Ahsoka and not Sabine. Because, not that it's not possible, but it very much seems in Ahsoka's monologue, Sabine's monologue at the end of Rebels, that's the first time they're seeing each other again.
Right.
So it doesn't seem like they've been working together the whole time, right?
No.
Like close friends. It definitely seems like kind of Ahsoka showing up for the first time in a while, and Sabine's like, I'm ready. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So from that angle, it probably makes the most sense that this is sometime around the Mandalorian. So 5 years later, Lothal's built up, and maybe this coincides with the very beginning of Sabine and Ahsoka's venture to find Thrawn and Ezra. And that's when it started to make a little bit more sense to me, this whole timeline, because in that case, now we're talking about, because this whole thing of like Sabine and Ahsoka going to find Ezra, they're not just going to light speed into the middle of nowhere. They don't know where to go yet. So they got to start with clues, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you were going to try to find them, you'd be taking clues from everywhere, right? Especially with Ahsoka, you'd be trying to commune with the Force to try to figure it out, I would assume, right? Like something like that. And then also you probably would be, obviously they have contacts in the New Republic, so anything Leia or Luke could do, they would be helping out. But you would be looking for any kind of leads, right? So if there's like broken down fragments of the Empire and you're hearing that some went into the unknown regions as the First Order, or even if that was a word yet, like I feel like Ahsoka and Sabine would probably be dancing around these things. Especially, not dance, like trying to look into these things, right? like to see what's going on. Especially the fact that if Ahsoka didn't take part in any of Mandalore's affairs and she stayed on Lothal to protect Lothal, the Mandalorian purge happened during that time. So she left her people to basically get purged while she protected a planet of a friend of hers that was missing, right? So if they were gonna, like, if she was freed from her burden to protect that planet because Lothal was fine, one of the first logical steps, even if Ahsoka didn't help her with this, but I'm sure Ahsoka would be to see if there's remaining Mandalorians, right? And so that could coincide directly with the comment of Din going to find more Mandalorians. That's where I think the connection is. Now, is it going to be exactly what I just said? Probably not. There's going to be details in there, but that's my general thought. So Sabine, the Mandalorians mean a lot to Sabine, right? Mm-hmm. And she, for all we know, was stuck. She was on Lothal, protecting Lothal for Ezra, because that's what he asked, until we see her when Ahsoka comes, which we're both assuming is well beyond Return of the Jedi. Well, somewhere in between A New Hope and Return of the Jedi, the Mandalorians got purged. Okay? So she's staying on Lothal while the person she personally handed the Darksaber to is basically getting massacred, right? So if she's free from her servitude of protecting Lothal and thinks Lothal is fine, it would make sense to me that one of the first things she did was to go to try to find if there are any Mandalorians left and help them out, right? And then you connect the baby Yaddle and the Force thing with Ahsoka trying to commune with the Force. Maybe even, I don't think Luke's going to show up, but like even Luke at this point is going searching for like Jedi and Force artifacts across the galaxy. So like Ahsoka at this point would have known about Luke. So there's that whole angle. So anyways, super long-winded version of just saying the same thing that you're saying. Just I'm trying to how Ahsoka and Sabine get brought into it, because my focus really at the end of the day, my biggest thing in Star Wars is this whole Ezra Thrawn, Sabine, Ahsoka storyline and where that's going. So that's why I think there's a little bit of a connection there to our friend Mr. Gideon and Palpatine. And so it's all going to kind of get woven together. I think my predictions are basically that Din is going to find Sabine and Ahsoka. Ahsoka's going to kind of explain how the Jedi don't exist. So you're not bringing him back to the Jedi because we don't exist. And Luke doesn't want him or something like that. Or maybe Luke does take him. Who knows? And they're not going to find the answer to Baby Yoda, Baby Yaddle. And then they're going to find out more of why Moff Gideon wants him.
Okay. That was a long.
Yeah, well, the whole the like half hour of like the beginning of it. Okay, so now that we have those out of the way, are you ready for our character predictor that we can actually keep score? All right. So here's how we're gonna do it. We're gonna base it on a percentage thing, but percentages are the points. All right. So I'm gonna say a character. And you're welcome to just go 100-0 if you want. I think obviously it's more fun if we do like use some percentages. But basically what we'll do is as the season goes on, I will check off if that person did show up. And then at the end of the season, obviously, if someone doesn't have a check, it means they didn't show up. And we will tally up basically if you got it right, you get the points, you get all the points of the percentage you guessed. So say I say, all right, Ahsoka, I say 90, you say 85. Ahsoka shows up, I get 90 points, you get 85. Simple. Okay. And then basically the opposite for incorrect answers. Bo-Katan, you say 90, I say 90, and Bo-Katan doesn't show up. We both lose 90 points. Okay. All right, so we should probably, since we're Star Wars people, hopefully end up in the positive at the very least.
Oh, good God. Yeah, I hope so.
All right, so let's get after it. Are you ready? Mr. Briggs. Board, yeah, no, I'll read it off. So we'll go every other. Do you want to be the first to answer the first one?
Sure.
Okay. Boba Fett.
100%.
100%.
Yep.
Okay. Now, let's be clear because the next one is Cobb Vanth, and I'll answer that first. But if Boba Fett's if Boba Fett's armor doesn't show up, doesn't count. Do we want, here's the other question, because some of these are going to be more, only a few of them will fall into this category. Are we going to give credit if Boba Fett's mentioned but doesn't show up? I think with Boba, we just say he shows up in person. It could be I'm fine with a flashback. If there's a flashback, I'll give it to you. But I say Boba's the person.
Flashback to me counts.
Yeah. No. That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying if like Cobb Vanth shows up and someone goes, "How do you have Boba Fett's armor?" That doesn't count as Boba Fett showing up.
No, that doesn't count.
Okay.
No, that doesn't count.
I'm going 95.
It's such a puss bag. Come on.
Well, I'm not going to go definites. I think this is the way you play it. All right, Cobb Vanth. I'll go first. Cobb Vanth, I'm going to go 85.
Wow. Okay. 85? Jesus Christ. Fine, I'll match you on that. 85%.
85, all right. All right. You're up next. Ahsoka.
Ahsoka? Oh, God. See, this might... It's funny because you could say just 100%, and I'm not saying 100% yet. Don't take that.
Yep.
I'm just saying it's interesting because you could say that, but there is a slight chance that Star Wars is dicking us around with Ahsoka.
Mm-hmm.
Slight chance. And
100 points is a lot to lose.
Yeah. So, oh, God. I'm going to say 90.
I think this is actually going to be my only 100. I'm convinced she's in it. Sorry, can you hear me? I was away from the mic. I'm convinced she's in it. I'm going 100.
Yeah.
I'd be shocked if she wasn't in it at this point.
There's
I agree with you. I know what you're saying, but I think we're too far into it and there's been too many rumors. I just don't think she can't show up. She doesn't show up. No, you don't get to change. It's already written down. 95. All right, Sabine, I get to go first. Sabine, you're probably going to be surprised by this one. I'm going 65.
Okay.
100% in my heart. 65% I think in real life. I want Sabine to show up, but I'm not sure. Even though I predicted that's how it works. 65.
No. Like, how much what were your first three picks?
I went Boba Fett 95, Cobb Vanth 85, Ahsoka 100, and Sabine 65. You just trying to play a math game right now?
Yeah,
you went 100 for Boba, 85 for Vanth, 90 for Ahsoka.
All right.
So I'm 10 points up on you.
You're 10 points up on me?
I mean, because of Ahsoka. I'm joking. I will admit I have high percentages, and not all of these characters are going to show up. So that's a tough, I'm going to lose as many points as I gain here at some point.
I'll go 70%.
You want 70 for Sabine? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the first one that I feel is interesting for a mention.
Can I wait?
Okay, go ahead.
Does it have to be like 65, 70? Like,
no, you can do whatever the fuck you want. You want 0.375?
All right, fine. All right, cool.
65 is fine? No, you have 70, sorry.
I picked 70.
70 is good? Okay, so I went first there. So you're going to go first here. This is an interesting one. I think on this one, this is if she shows up and if she's mentioned. Bo-Katan.
Fuck.
This is where they start to get good because they all make sense. It's just like they all can't be in it. So it's like.
Well, oh God. See, like. I'll go 75. I'm betting high.
I'm going 35%.
Because of we had the rumors with Bo-Katan and Cara Dune, so I mean, like,
terrible character.
Huh?
That's a terrible marker. Sorry.
still got 5 more. Jesus Christ. Okay.
35. Okay. I don't know if you know this one from Rebels. Fen Rao.
Wait, you didn't do yours?
Yeah, 35.
35?
Yeah, yep.
You really don't think she's gonna show up that much?
I mean, I have to take a stand somewhere. They all can't be in it. They're not all gonna be in it. So
I'm gonna laugh my ass off when she's in it, and you're.
Well, I still get 35 points.
Yeah, okay. So
that's fine. You'll be 40 up if that's Fen Rao. Do you need a background, or you know who he is?
Yeah, I need a little background.
He's the guy who is like the not super tied into a family. He was in Clone Wars. He helps out. He's more known in Rebels. He helps out Kanan. He's actually the one who tells him about the Darksaber and helps out Sabine and kind of convinces her. He's not really part of a family, but he's a Mandalorian, and he's kind of like a mercenary.
Yeah, no, I forgot all about him.
Yeah. He's actually no one's mentioned him. He's a really good fit for this storyline because it's not a major name, but he's a big time Mandalorian. He has a lot of tie to the Darksaber and it being handed from Sabine to Bo-Katan. Like he's probably the most important not known name from Mandalore. You know.
How do you spell his name?
It's Fenrau, I think. Maybe 2 N's in Fen. You see a picture, you'll know who it is.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Why are you giggling?
I'm not. I'm trying to remember what.
He sits next to Kanan and tells him about the Darksaber. That would be the most memorable.
Yeah, now I know.
But he was in Clone Wars too. He was like. I don't think he was part of Death Watch. I think he was part of something else. The Protectors or something.
Yeah. 25%.
25%. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I was right around there. I hate matching. I'll go 20. I will also let me write down these though. I think he's fair for a mention too. I'm gonna put an M. Meaning we both agreed that mention was good. Does that work for you?
Yeah. That's
Are you okay with that? Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay. I go first on the next one. Hera. I'm gonna go 10%. Oh. Yeah, she's done.
Yeah, I'm the same. 10%. Okay. Yeah, that's too much. I have a. What does a mention count?
No, I'm gonna go Hera as a character.
Yeah, no, I'm almost like even 10%. I think might be too much. It's just like
okay. You want 10?
No one has said a word about her with the Mandalorian, so it's kind of just like why. It would be a surprise. It'd be great, but like live action Hera before.
Well, it doesn't have to be before.
No, it could be after. I'm just saying. I have a hard time believing she would make it.
Easier because the voice actor has played her in everything, and we've already done a million Twi'leks, so it's nothing new. They could easily sneak her in, and I don't think she's like a gigantic actress in terms of like people knowing her whereabouts at all times. You know what I mean? Like. Because she does a bunch of Star Wars stuff now. She did what's the game? What's the Squadrons? So like they could have done it at the same time. You know how people are always like some people, he was doing studio work here. So you kind of like Rosario Dawson. People have this Vanessa Marshall's like she's a big time actor. Don't get me wrong, but she's not on that level. You know what I'm saying?
She's a big cartoon and video game person.
Yep. All right, so you good with 10? I'm at 10 too.
Yeah.
But I'm not doing mention. She's got to show up.
Yeah, I think
I'll do voice. We'll count that. Like if she comes over the comms or something.
Okay.
That's fine, but not mention as in someone can't just say Hera. Okay. So I went first there. You're up. Ezra. We will go mention for the next two.
Actually, Ezra was pretty hard because that fucking guy was fucking tweeting about it, and now it's like
he'd be perfect for it.
Oh, maybe, but at the same time, God, I feel like that I gotta go 10. You just can't.
They can't all be in it, but if half of our stuff's true and you have Sabine and Ahsoka in it, how does he not get mentioned?
Yeah, but
you know what I
feel
mean?
like, see, that's the thing, though. It's like what kind
It's
of
too much.
capacity
I
are
know.
they?
I gotcha. But like, if I told you Ahsoka and Sabine are in like 3 or 4 episodes this season, Ezra has to get mentioned, right?
Yeah, but like, look at last season. You had Cara Dune wasn't in every episode.
No.
Don't get me wrong.
I'm saying
But
if
then
I could guarantee you Ahsoka and Sabine are in 3 episodes each, would that change your percentage? It would change mine by a lot.
No.
All right. So you're at 10.
Because you're talking. They have to find him, and I just don't think. I don't think.
Yeah, I get you.
I don't think the plot's going to go that way.
So
it
10
doesn't make sense.
10% for a mention of Ezra.
Right. I think the plot is going to stay central to.
Yeah. I got you. I'm gonna go 15. I'll up you by 5%. I'll take my 5 points.
Okay, fine.
Thrawn.
Thrawn. Oh God, throw another 10 on there because
I'm going 0.
All right, that's fine.
Sorry, I was supposed to go first there, so I'll go first twice here.
Wait, so then I do a redo. 0.
You don't get to do a redo. I'll do the last 2 first to make it fair.
All right, fine.
Palpatine. A mention of Palpatine, or all right, let's discuss this first. A mention or a hint? Is a hint too much? Like, because we could argue that it's not a hint of Palpatine.
No, really, a hint?
Well, so I'm saying, like, will they hint towards that's who Gideon is working for? My only problem with this is we may not agree on the hint. You know what I mean? Like, that's the only trouble with that. But if we say mention, it's a 0% because they're not going to say Palpatine in the show.
No, I think it's too broad.
So let's go as a bonus question if there's a tie for some reason. So we'll discuss hint later, the meaning of hint, but I'll go 75% chance on a hint. But again, this is a bonus question. This won't be counted originally. This is only if like we're tied or something.
Right. Yeah. No, I can't. Yeah. Hint is too broad.
Well, no, but it's still. We'll do a bonus question. We'll discuss it later. So you still like on the hint. You're gonna say there's no hint whatsoever.
Oh, if there's gonna be a hint, that's the bonus question.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like you can pick a percentage for free. It's 5. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not putting any eggs in that basket. That's
all right. The last one is just like a wild one, for fun. This will do. We won't do mention. We'll do voice or character show up. Okay. Any one of the following: Luke, Leia, Han, Ben Solo, or Chewbacca. Actually, let's throw Lando in there too for fun. It's an all-in-one. Any of them show up, you get it.
Okay. Well, you're first, so.
All right. Okay, so here's what we'll do. We'll make this bonus question number 1. Okay? And Palp's bonus question number 2.
Why? This is fine.
You think this is within the... You want this as a normal question? That's fine. Okay.
You're talking... There's 6 people right there. Chewbacca could easily make
Well, they have to... but it can't be a mention. They have to show up or make like a voice... like a call over the comms kind of thing. So if like an X-Wing's flying and he says, Leia Organa says pull over, that doesn't count. But if Leia comms in and says, Razor Crest, this is Leia Organa, I need you to pull over, that counts. Is that clear enough?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. I'm going to go 35%. And I'll tell you why before you go crazy.
Fucking mine.
Okay, you do your percent first. I don't want to give you any hints. So you do your percent first. And then I'll tell you why I'm so high.
Oh, 35%. Oh my God.
I'm going to beat you by about 100%, so I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, right.
We have crazy high percentages, by the way. We're going to be so far in the negative.
You're saying...
I'll tell you what I think after you go.
I get where you're going with
You don't. You have no idea which one I'm talking about.
Okay. Luke?
What? You think Luke's the most likely to show up?
Yeah. Well, you think Lando is? Or
No, I think
Chewbacca?
Leia is.
Oh, stop it! What you're talking about?
New Republic. That's why. So go ahead. I didn't want to give you a hint. But Luke is probably, if it's 35%, Luke's probably just as likely to be like a shadow walking away from Ahsoka in like a cutscene or something.
I feel like Luke would be more likely in this case, just because Luke's going to be out searching.
If it was a mention, I would be much higher, because I think if we're anywhere near correct with Ahsoka, there'll be a mention of Luke. But I don't think Luke shows up.
Well, just think of it this way. Ahsoka and Luke.
I agree with you. I'm saying I don't think Luke shows up. I think there could be a mention of Luke, but that wouldn't count in this case. I think there's a good chance you get a voiceover from Leia, like a voice call or something.
10%.
10%. All right.
Yeah, I just don't.
Right.
You're
want me to
asking...
read them back? Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I know what I'm asking. It's for fun. They're obviously ridiculous. I mean, what fun would it be if we just went, is the Mandalorian going to show up this season?
Well, no, I'm just saying. I think that last one's just going to be tough. I mean, it's just
supposed to be tough. That's the whole purpose.
I would say Luke. The only reason why I would think Luke too is not just because of his character, but because of him, in that he is more involved in that kind of community type deal, like
Ahsoka's community.
Yeah, like
Baby Yaddle, you're saying.
Acting.
Gotcha.
No.
Yeah. I got you.
No,
okay.
Mark Hamill.
Okay.
Has done.
Well, it's obviously not going to be Carrie Fisher, so.
Well, no shit. But that's what my point is. Like, you're probably not going to get Leia. You're not going to get Han. You're probably not going to get Chewbacca. And Lando might be one that.
I feel like they all have a little % of showing up.
I feel like there's going to be too many surprises then at that point. I think it's going to be the biggest surprise you're going to get out of the season is going to be Ahsoka, Boba Fett, and possibly Rex, which I'm surprised you didn't even ask that one.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's a good one. It's a good one. It's a good one. You're right. I didn't ask. You're correct.
Do you want to throw that on the board? Or
I don't have any room. You want me to, I'll figure out a way. Okay, Rex, what do you got?
Rex, 25%. What do you got?
Specifically Rex, I'll go 0%.
What? Really?
Yeah, I mean, I think if Boba Fett shows up and it's Tamora Morrison or whatever, I don't think we're also going to have Rex. I don't know. I don't rule him out for down the road. I just don't think.
Well,
there you go.
There you go.
25.
So I don't know what to tell you.
25 points for you. Easy enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So tally them up. What do we got?
Okay. Let me just clarify though. What I think is I think we will get, because it's way less. Because it's an easy fan service thing to do without being cheesy. You don't have to de-age anyone. You don't have to do anything special. I think you'll just get like a simple, and it could be, and maybe we'll argue about the validity of this. I think we're getting New Republic. We're going to get some New Republic stuff in this. And Leia is going to be a huge part of the New Republic. So I think there's a very good chance that you'll hear Leia's voice, whether it's in, like, we may argue that in the background there's an ad that Leia's saying something, if that counts. But I think Leia will show up. I think she will comm something, like she will announce something. Maybe she'll be in a holographic. There'll be something with Leia, I think, is the highest percentage chance. Because I think it's easy fan service, but it also makes sense if he has to deal with the New Republic and it's not super forced. Because if him dealing with the New Republic isn't forced, right? Like something comes up and he has to deal with the New Republic for whatever reason, then Leia does make sense. So that's all I'll say. Okay, let's go back over them. You ready? Can you hear me clear? I don't know if I turn away from the mic if it goes away.
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Boba Fett, we got Steve at 100, Ollie at 95. Cobb Vanth. So Steve will go first each time. So Boba Fett 100 to 95. Cobb Vanth 85-85. Ahsoka 90-100. Sabine 70-65. Bo-Katan 75-35. Bo-Katan is a mention will count. Fen Rao, a mention will count. 25-20. Ezra and Thrawn, both mentions will count. Ezra is 10-15 and Thrawn is 10-0. Hera, a mention will not count. So Hera needs to show up. 10% for Steve, 10% for... Oh, we tied there. Palpatine. That's an extra question, and it's going to be a hint thing, so we'll get into that later. Steve at 5%, Ollie at 75%. Did I say 75%?
You're going to lose that so hard.
Luke, Leia, Han, Lando, Ben Solo, or Chewbacca in appearance or voice, but not mention. Steve's got 10%. Ollie's got 35%. Ollie wins by a lot. No, honestly, the chances, there's a really good chance that only like 2 of these characters show up and we lose a fuckload of points. And the winning score is who's less negative.
Well, this gave me an idea of we should do like a bingo for Mandalorian
episodes. Yeah, that'd be good too.
Like a small board, and you just, how many, like when Mando says this is the way, you take one off.
We should do a drinking game for that at 3:00 in the morning.
No, I will be asleep.
I got you. Okay, let's wrap this up. Final thoughts. I will say that I am super excited for this one because I feel as though the hints, I'm taking the hints and the rumors that the Baby Yoda type reveal of last season is also happening in the first episode of this season. So I think we're going to get big shit and a lot to talk about after the first episode. So I'm super excited. Steven? You don't have to answer that. That was just my final takeaway. Sorry.
I think I have a feeling it's going to be in the same vein as season 1 in terms of surprises. I think the first episode, we're going to get something that's going to be mind-blowing. I think that this show is actually more important to the Star Wars franchise this season than anything else.
Steve's getting deep.
Yeah, no, because I think this is a turning point. If this season sticks,
that's not going to stink.
So
but okay. Yep.
Okay.
No,
I don't think it will.
I got you.
I'm just saying, if it, for whatever reason,
no bueno for Star Wars.
Huh?
No bueno for Star Wars if it bombs.
If it bombs, Star Wars is in deep shit. I think this season is the defining moment for Star Wars. If live action is going to work in terms of TV, if it's going to, I think this is the season that's going to define it. If it's a great season, franchise,
everything's greenlit.
Everything's going to be greenlit. Well, not everything, but
you know what I'm
saying. Things are going to be better.
Yep.
Yeah. If it's not good, you're going to have there's going to be some shakeups, I think, because they've gotten so much backlash over the last few years over the stupid sequel trilogy and everything else going on. And, you could say Kathleen Kennedy and all this crap. Mandalorian has been one of the brightest spots in the Star Wars franchise, and it'd be a very big disappointment if season 2 didn't turn out the way it is. So Ahsoka, Sabine, you better be in the fucking season.
Wow. Okay.
There you
go. So we appreciate you listening. We're going to get this up as soon as possible, hopefully before The Mandalorian drops, but most people will probably see it after the first episode, so you'll laugh at us with all the wrong predictions.
And if you're not watching this, you just missed me dabbing. Just letting you know.
Oh, well, there you go.
There you go, if you're listening to this.
So, Steve, where can they all listen to us, all these millions of people that are interested?
They can listen to us on iTunes or Apple Podcasts. They can listen to us on Spotify. Also, Google Play is another one.
Overcast, are we on the tube? Anchor. We're on YouTube with our pretty faces and this amazing setup I made.
Yeah, you can watch us on YouTube. You can also watch us on Twitch. We're live right now, but
not when you're listening to this. We're not live.
Exactly. So, but yeah, you can follow us on Twitch if you want to watch us in real time, or YouTube. Like Ollie said, he posts all the videos to YouTube. And we're on all streaming services, and we're on the Gram and Twitter and at the Padawan. So if you want to drop a comment or message us or whatever you want, follow us there.
Truth. Later, Padawans.